Order of Operations Part 2. Lesson Objectives. Perform computations and evaluate expressions using the order of operations, and use summation notation. Let's begin. Simplify 8 times 3 divided by 6 minus 4. We have three operations: multiplication, division, and subtraction. So going from left to right, we do multiplication or division first. Since multiplication is more to the left, we multiply 8 times 3 and we get 24. Bring down divide by 6 minus 4. Next, division before subtraction. So 24 divided by 6. 24 divided by 6 is 4. Bring down our minus 4, so we have 4 minus 4, and that is 0. Let's do another example. Evaluate the expression if Q1 equals 25. This is known as the first quartile. And IQR, this is the interquartile range, is 4. It's a measure of spread. We want to compute what is Q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR. Let's substitute the values that we know. Q1 is 25 minus 1.5 times the IQR, which is 4. We multiply before we subtract, so 1.5 times 4 is 6. So what is 25 minus 6? Well, that would be 19. Next, 18 divided by 3 times 2 times 12 minus 10. Order of operations says we have to do parentheses first. So we do this part, 12 minus 10, that's 2. That's being multiplied by 2. We bring down our 3, our divide, and then 18. Next, we have division, multiplication, and multiplication. We want to divide first because it's more to the left. 18 divided by 3 is 6 times 2 times 2. This is all multiplication, so 6 times 2 is 12, times 2 again is 24. When using some calculators, we have to be careful how we input the expression. So in this example, we have 10 plus 6, and all that is being divided by 2. This division sign is like a grouping symbol, so we have to evaluate the numerator and then the denominator before we divide these two. So in this case, before we can divide, we need to add. So we're going to get 16. So 16 divided by 2 gives us 8. If we use a scientific or graphing calculator and we just input 10 plus 6 divided by 2, the calculator is going to tell us the answer is 13. The reason why is because the calculator is going to divide before it adds. So 6 divided by 2 is 3, and then it's going to add 3 to 10 and we get 13. Now that is not what we wanted in this example. We wanted the calculator to first add, then divide, so we can always add parentheses. So if we take parenthesis 10 plus 6, close parenthesis, and then divide that by 2, we get the correct answer, which is 8. For this example, we could type this into a graphing calculator and get the correct answer. However, if we put this into a basic calculator, we will get the wrong answer. The basic calculator only calculates one operation at a time, so the first operation that it would do is subtraction, and we want addition first, then multiplication, and then finally subtraction. So let's do this by hand and then we'll try it on the calculator. First, we do parentheses. 4 plus 3 is 7. That is being multiplied by 5, and then we are subtracting that from 2. Next, we multiply before we subtract. 5 times 7 is 35, so we have 2 minus 35, and 2 minus 35 is a negative 33. Now let's check this on our two calculators. Using the scientific calculator, we want to take 2 minus 5 parenthesis 4 plus 3 close parenthesis. This calculator will understand do parentheses, then multiply, then subtract. Hit enter and we get negative 33. That's what we got. If we do this on the standard calculator, if we take 2 minus 5, then we times that by 4 plus 3, we get a totally different answer. And the reason why that is this calculator is only doing one operation at a time. So what we have to do is we have to first know what operations that we want to perform first. So in this case we want to do parentheses. We want to take, let's clear this, we want to take 4 plus 3, that's 7. We want to multiply that by 5, so we have 35. So now we want to take 2 minus 35, so 2 minus 35, hit equals, and we get a negative 33. That is the correct answer. Let's try another. In this example, we have a numerator and the denominator need to be simplified first. Looking at the numerator, we have 7 plus 4 times 5. We've got to multiply first. 4 times 5 is 20. 20 plus 7 is 27. So the numerator is 27. Before we can divide, we have to simplify the denominator. Here we have multiplication and addition. We multiply first. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. Negative 10 plus 1 is negative 9. Now we can divide. 27 divided by negative 9 is a negative 3. In this example, we have shorthand. This symbol means plus and minus. So this is actually two numbers. It's mathematical shorthand. So this means 45 minus 2 times 3 and 45 plus 2 times 3. And that's why we call this plus and minus, because this is two operations at the same time. So I'm going to break them up. I'll do the subtraction part first. So we have 45 minus 2 times 3, and then we have 45 plus 2 times 3. In statistics, when we're doing confidence intervals, this can be thought of as a point estimate plus or minus margin of error. Following the order of operations, we have 45 minus 2 times 3. We do multiplication before we do subtraction. So this is equal to 45 minus 6. And 45 minus 6 is 39. So the first number is 39. The second number is 45 plus 2 times 3, or 45 plus 6. And 45 plus 6 is 51. That is our second number. This problem has two answers, 39 and 51. Next, evaluate x minus the mean quantity squared divided by n minus 1. If x is 45, mu is 30, and n is 21. Substituting these values in, we have 45 minus the mean, which is 30. That difference is being squared, and then it is being divided by n minus 1, or 21 minus 1. Following the order of operations, we have to do parentheses first. So we want to take 45 minus 30. Then we want to square it to get the numerator. And then we want to divide that by 21 minus 1. 45 minus 30 is 15. We want to square that and then divide that by 21 minus 1, which is 20. 15 squared is 15 times 15, which is 225, divided by 20. And 225 divided by 20 is 11.25. You can check this on your calculator. Let's do another one. Simplify this expression. So we have 3 parentheses all being squared, and then finally that sum is under the square root symbol. So we will finally, last step, take the square root of the sum. Doing parentheses first, we get 4 minus 5, which is a negative 1, and that is being squared. 6 minus 5 is 1, and then we have 7 minus 5, which is 2, and that's being squared. Next, we want to do exponents. So we have 3 squares, negative 1 squared. When you're squaring numbers, they're always positive or 0. Negative 1 squared is negative 1 times negative 1, which is 1, plus 1 squared is 1 times 1, which again is 1, plus 2 squared, 2 times 2 is 4. We add 1 plus 1 plus 4 and take the square root. So that becomes square root of 6, and if you approximate that on your calculator, square root of 6 rounded off to 2 decimal places is 2.45. Let's try another one. Evaluate the formula if x equals 100, mu equals 90, and sigma equals 2.2. This is our z-score formula. You will see this again. Plugging in our values, we're going to have 100 minus the mean, which is 90, minus sigma, which is 2.2. Following the order of operations, I need to do the numerator first, that's 10, and then divide that by 2.2. 10 divided by 2.2 is 4.55, rounded off. Lesson objective, use summation notation. This is the Greek letter sigma, capital sigma. When you see this in mathematics, this symbol means you add. Now what are you adding? Well, we have a counter here, down here at the bottom. We have I equals 1. Sometimes you may see an N, sometimes you may see a K. It's just a counter, and it says, okay, start at 1 and add up all the way to N. And what do you do with that counter? Well, you use whatever operation is going on here. In this case, we have just an X, so this would just simply mean the sum starting from 1 to n of the x values. Let's do an example. So here we want to find the sum starting from 1 to 5 for the expression I plus 2. So we start with 1. So I is 1, 1 plus 2. And then this tells me to add the next one. So now the counter is I equals 2. So we have 2 plus our 2 plus I is now 3. So we have 3 plus 2 plus I is 4, 4 plus 2, plus finally we're now up to 5. That's where we stop. 5 plus 2. So now we add each of these together. First we do 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 2 plus 2 is 4. Plus 3 plus 2 is 5. Plus 4 plus 2 is 6. And then we have 5 plus 2 is 7. So we add up these, and that will be our summation, 25. Let's do one more example. Evaluate the sum below. This time we're going from 1 to 4. So when I is 1, we have 1 minus 1 squared plus, we plus because that's what this symbol is telling us. Our next one would be I is 2. So we have 2 minus 1 squared plus I is 3. So we have 3 minus 1 squared. And finally I is 4, and we stop. 4 minus 1 squared. So now we do the parentheses first, then we square it. 1 minus 1 is 0. So we have 0 squared plus 2 minus 1 is 1 squared plus 3 minus 1 squared is 2, and then we're squaring that. And the last one, 4 minus 1 is 3, and then we square that. Before we add, we have to square. So 0 times 0 is 0. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 squared is 2 times 2, which is 4. And 3 squared is 3 times 3, which is 9. So 0 plus 1 is 1, plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 9 is 14. So the sum is equal to 14. Thanks for watching.